G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel on an absolutely bloody stunning Southland morning. Check that out, would you? We see the triplets just there. Look to be getting on okay. A few lambs being born up here in the earlies. Got a bit of a day on today. We've got 21 calves turn up yesterday, 21, I have to have a count. So we've got to get them set up, but before we do that we've got 600 ewes to get through the yards and pre-land vaccinate, and yeah, a few other bits and pieces going on too, so let's go get into it. That's a new one overnight. There goes the cast one. Come on, girl. There we go. Oh, you're not in good shape. There you go. You gonna be right? There's another two nice resets. Now, one of the worst possible things imaginable happened to me yesterday, guys. This is bad and it hurts. See these things here? These are a heated handlebar. See this little switch right here? It doesn't work. So now my hands are cold. Turned the bike on yesterday and they never heated up. And I just went, oh. But it's alright. Because 9 times out of 10 it is just a switch, so we'll get a couple of switches, because Sarah's bikes ones don't work either, and I'm pretty sure they did when we first got it. So yeah, check out that view, would you? Not a bad wee spot. Had a beautiful wee frost this morning, just under -2, well, a bit less than -2, and the ground is hard as rock, which is good, because I wouldn't mind getting a tractor going soon. And see how these wee guys are getting on. Well, certainly still plenty of feed there. So I think we'll leave them for one more day. The girls are looking pretty happy. Starting to get pretty sick of Swedes, but not too much left. Yep. Dangerous territory again. Girls have got a lot of feed left right there. It's 3 days I think they've had. I think. Might only be 2. Nah, 2 days. Still. Hell of a lot of feed left there, so the other mob will get shifted today, so that tomorrow when they come in they'll have a nice full guts. But we'll just get these girls shifted in the yards first, get them jabbed, get them back on, and then we'll shift them. What's going to happen here? Hopefully nothing. So far so good. Now, had a wee bit of a win the other day. The fan on my bike here hasn't been working for, I don't know, year and a half. If I just pull back this bit of plastic here, you can see the fan there spinning around that whole cover. Well, down below it is a bloody piece of frame. there was a stone jammed in there. And yeah, poor wee motor in there had been grinding its guts out trying to turn with a stone jammed in the bottom. That's why my fan wasn't working. Luckily, after a long time of that happening, popped the stone out, the fan started working again. These bloody Honda bikes are built pretty tough. Pearl! Away! Quiet, Pearl. Quiet. Come on, girls. Heaps of room up the front. Pearl. Pearl out. Pearl. This is going to be a painful day, guys. Hey! Pearl. Pearl. Right, there we go. There's one lot of races filled. So we go up one side and back down the other with the drench, with the injectable drench. And then we switch over to the vaccine. We go up one side and back down the other again until my wife gets here, in which case she'll start doing the vaccinating. But they're in the yards, we've got to get them out as fast as possible, so I'm going to get to it. Right, I've got a bit of an issue here. See those bubbles coming back in there? Where are we? See those? That is a big problem. Excuse the noisy calves, we'll get to them in a minute. But yeah, that problem is that if we keep doing that, these ewes won't be getting enough drench. Single worst thing you can do with a drench is underdose. Even just a little bit. Overdosing is far better than underdosing, because underdosing doesn't kill all the worms in the system, and the ones that are left behind get resistant. Thankfully, it should be an easy fix, because we should just be able to put a new draw of tube on, and hopefully it seals up and we'll be away laughing. So this is what we're using. Now, they used to come in a little box with just that in it. That was all that was in it. And these all came separately. Thankfully now, every box has one in it. You do probably get 2 or 3 bottles out of a draw-off tube, but yeah, put a new one on. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Right, let's see what happens. Right, that in the barrel looks a lot better. That's the very first one, so we'll get rid of that. Focus camera, focus. Come on. There we go. A few tiny wee bubbles in there, but nothing to worry about. And we have no leakage at the draw-off tube. We're away laughing. Come on, girls. Well, we probably should have done that race first, right? Would have made the job a lot easier. Quite a hard job, that one, because heavily inland ewes don't move very nicely in a race. You're always fighting them, trying to move through them, and of course you've got to do it twice, and they get pretty sick of it, but it's for their benefit, and more so for the lamb's benefit, and the job is now done for these ones anyway. 500 to do tomorrow, and then about 140 or 150 to do the next day, and then she's all done. They're not just in a mad hurry to rush back out there, are they? And there they go, all happy as on a paddock of grass. We'll just leave them here for an hour. We'll go and have lunch and have a pick of some nice grunty, high energy, high protein feed. They've been in the yards for probably pretty close to 3 hours now. So yeah, have a feed up there, get them back on Swedes. Tomorrow they'll get that shift, that other mob that are right there on crop. Once we've got these ones back on, we'll shift them. And yeah, that's us done for the day with these girls. Should be pretty happy. Yeah, probably should have said when I was doing it. With the Sydecton drench, there's a lot of concern about resistance with that. So as we're going through them, we're trying to leave the singles and twins in this mob. And all of our mobs at the moment, apart from the triplets and the, well, there are in the earlies too. We're not jabbing the fattest ewes, probably the fattest 10 to 15%. We're just leaving them unjabbed. So when we get sort of November, December, you'll start seeing a few that get quite daggy, quite shitty bums. Yeah, they're the ones we didn't drench. But that just helps to, if there's some worms around that haven't seen the drench, that helps to slow down the resistance process, and we'll be able to use this stuff for a few years longer. We calfies have just had a feed, and they turned up yesterday. Big trip over from the other side of Southland. Happy looking little characters. Hey Harry! And the rest of them are Belgian blue crosses. So that one looks very, very Belgian bluey.
You that one?
Hoeing into the, well not hoeing in, having their first introduction to muesli and that, what do they call it, calf cocaine? Don't put your dirty foot in the water. Here we guys. G'day. Well, that is a kind of embarrassing residual, I must admit. But, so grazing sheep on Swedes this late in pregnancy is not really recommended. Yeah, back in the days though, when we were grazing to the real brown stuff over there, yeah, that or this is when that sort of, that was the go. I'm hoping, leaving that much behind out there, that we'll get away with it. See, the further down you make them at the bulb, the lower their intake is, the harder they've got to work to get what they need. So if we're leaving, crikey, I'm going to estimate probably 60% behind there, then yeah, they should be getting enough, hopefully. They're still getting baleage, although they're not eating as much of it, which sort of shows that their Swede intake is higher. Swedes are a pretty complete feed. They're adequate in protein, only just, but they're adequate. There is a concern with iodine. The necks in the Swede contain, I think they're called goitrogens or something. They prevent, they will block the uptake of iodine. But we've supplemented with iodine. We've given them it's a peanut oil injection, and it's got heaps of iodine in it. It's slow release, so hopefully that helps counteract that. But I sort of sound like I'm complaining a wee bit. This is an awesome thing, because every other paddock on the farm, apart from the 3 crop paddocks, are growing grass right now. And the longer the grass is when we spread them out, the more there is available to them, the faster it's growing while they're on the paddock. So it's an awesome thing. I'm just hoping that we don't wind up finding out about a whole lot of unintended consequences of our actions. But I think we'll be right. How's that for a view, eh? That is about 90% of the sheep on our farm in one picture. So these are the terminal ewes, lighter mixed age, heavier mixed age out there that we just jabbed. Hoggets way over there on that crop. Then up here on the grass you can't really see many of them, but that's the turfs. So there's only really the earlies. 2 more, well, you can actually see 1 mob of earlies. That grass paddock right there. Yeah, that you can't quite see. Pretty wicked. So I had a busy old afternoon. I've just shifted this fence down here. Where are we? Down there. whole way along, so they've got all that crop buffer, still plenty of grass buffer there against the creek. I take my hat off to people that do that daily. Your ignorance is bloody amazing. It's not an intelligent thing to do. Man, there's some work in that. Pulling down fences and putting them back up is far easier. But anyway, this paddock back over here, we just pulled a heap of fencing gear down in there, so there's only 3 reels left up in there now. I've actually decided once we've jabbed that other mob tomorrow, we might give them a day apart, and then I'm just going to box those 2 mobs up because they are the same mob, they're just heavies and lights, and that way when we run them into the yards to draft the singles out for set stocking, or no, when they're finished, it's just 1 mob in, draft them, get them back out of the yards, a lot less pissing around, and should get them back on grass faster. But yeah, so that's what's been happening this afternoon. Still got a wee few jobs to do though, so let's go get into it. You'll have to excuse the bit of twine there. Making their way back on. There's the ones we jabbed this morning back on crop. Not looking very hungry. 2 dudes are all happy as. Heaps of grass. And here we are up at the Lake Lammas. Anyway guys, my phone's about to die. So you guys have a good one and we'll catch you next time.